What's up, everybody? It's Hazel2012 back with you again. I got some gameplay here on Hijacked, playing a little domination game and running knife only. Frag grenade. But I decided just to run a goofy class just to have fun. I was playing with a friend here and he said, hey, let's just run some knife only. He had just reset his stats. Fuck it. So this game was a shit ton of fun, and it's just something you have to do. This game's been out now. It's reaching the end of its life cycle. It is getting to the point now where you have to do some crazy stuff every so often to still have fun. So that's what I did here. I think my final score is like 34-16. I'm running some crazy high score streaks. I kept forgetting to change them, and I ran some knife only for quite a while. I might have some more gameplay somewhere. As you can see, I make a few insanely epic failures before I start getting on a bit of a tirade, a little bit of a tear here. These guys were really dumb, and they didn't do much to fight against the knife-only thing. So, what I want to talk about today, not really the gameplay, is how every so often in our lives we make really dumb decisions and we do really dumb things. I am no exception to this rule, of course. Everybody does it at some point or another. So I want to tell you a story about how when I was 9 years old, I burned a barn down. When I was 9 years old, actually at the time I used to live with my dad in southern Mississippi. And living there, I would occasionally make visits to family that still lived in the area where I live now, near Louisville, Kentucky. So I was visiting my grandparents one year, my 4th grade year, during spring break, and I used to have this obsession with fire, as at some point I think every kid goes through fire's cool, the Beavis and Butthead thing. I think everybody kind of goes through that every so often. So I went through it, of course, no exception to that rule. 9 years old, a buddy of mine and I were goofing off in my grandfather's barn. He used to have a big farm, well, he still has it out there, in the middle of nowhere. So on his farm, he had a big garden, he had animals, he had stuff like that, so he had a huge barn, and it was a really old barn. I mean, all of the wood was just totally dry, alright? So we're out there playing, and my cousin, who was quite a few years older than I, had built kind of a clubhouse out of hay bales, and he would kind of go in there and hang out sometimes, and he was like 16 at the time, so he was quite a bit older than me. But we would go in there and hang out too, and jump into the hay bales, and jump into the stacks of hay and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. So I go in there one day, and we're playing in the little clubhouse, and I had a pack of matches in my pocket, of course, and it was real dark in the little clubhouse. I was like, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll string together a little bit of the hay. And after I string together this hay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to light a little bit of it on fire and create a mini torch. Now, I'm 9 years old, and, probably a good half a step away from being mentally retarded at the time. And I light this hay on fire. After lighting the hay on fire, I realized it wasn't really going to burn. It was just kind of smoldering. So I throw it on the ground, which, of course, the ground is, yes, of course, nothing but hay. I know you're already going, you fucking idiot, is this really stupid, and like lighting stuff on fire, and 9 years old or not, it's really stupid. And yes, it was very stupid. So I end up lighting this little hay torch, and I stomp it out, or so I think. And I think it goes out. Well, then I look down, and my buddy was with me. He's like, oh, that's on fire. So I look down, and there's a little flame, just a couple of inches. And I'm like, uh-oh, it's on fire. So I stomp it out. Just stomp it out. It's good. It stomps out. Fire goes out. Well, then it catches again. And it continues to burn a little bit more. So I stomp it out again. And then I get the bright idea, and here's where I make my hugest mistake. I decide I'll roll a hail bay on top of it. That'll get it. That'll teach you fire. That'll teach you to mess with me. I'm smarter than you. Well, you can guess what happened then. The hay bale kind of, I don't want to say exploded, but I mean, it was not on fire, and then it was. And then it went from not being a very big fire to a huge fire in a matter of 15 to 20 seconds. And within a minute or two, this fire's getting insane. So I'm trying to like smother it out and roll the hay bale over so it'll go out, but all that keeps doing is just lighting more of the hay on fire. And I'm trying to stomp it out and it just won't go out. So I yell at my friend to go get a big bucket of water or something, and he runs off. By the time he comes back, the whole little clubhouse area is on fire, which is probably 15 feet. And so he runs inside, my friend, and tells my cousin that the barn's on fire. And my cousin looks and sees the fire, and it's not too insane at the time. Now, this is all within a 3-minute period of time, 3 to 5 minutes maybe. So after that happens, my cousin goes inside, he grabs a fire extinguisher, a little home fire extinguisher, and he runs out to the barn to try to put the fire out. By the time it has gotten to where my cousin can make it to the barn with the fire extinguisher, pretty much the whole barn's on fire. I mean, engulfed in flames. Like Chicago fire, huge. The whole barn is on fire. And apparently you could see this fire for miles and miles and miles around, just billowing black smoke. And this was not a small barn. This was a really big barn. It was bigger than most people's houses. And it is just totally engulfed in flames. Just completely burned to the fucking ground. And in a matter of a couple of hours, it burned to nothing. There's just nothing left. Absolutely nothing. So, fire department comes out, and they can't put the fire out, so the best that they can do is really just control it. You know, make sure nothing else catches in the area. And that I'm alright with, because at this time it hasn't set in that I have just done something terribly stupid and just all around terrible. So, I've done something dumb. And, of course, my grandparents, being that I visit, are super pissed at me. My grandfather's so mad he didn't even say anything. Like, he was just that level of angry. You know, just silence. The serial killer silence. Like, I think he was plotting my death because, you know, that was a lot of his livelihood there. So, yeah. But he ends up getting insurance money for it and rebuilding it, but that's besides the fact. I burned a barn down. 9 years old. Stupid. Now, because I visited my grandparents and they were afraid that my dad wouldn't allow me to visit because I had done something so crazy, they decided, you know, don't tell him, you know, we'll deal with it. Don't worry about it. So I don't think to this day that I ever told my dad that I burned this barn down when I was 9 years old. And that's been 21 years ago. So, I mean, not really a whole lot of trouble you can get into when you're only visiting your grandparents for a week or anything. But needless to say, it was not a pleasant experience. But lo and behold, I learned my lesson. Quit playing with fire. Don't be doing stupid shit with fire. Don't burn down your own family's stuff. And especially don't light hay bales on fire because you think it's going to be a little torch that's going to obviously help you see in this semi-dark barn clubhouse that has been built. And besides that moral of the story, another good moral to have about this is realize, even as a child, that we should probably be smarter than that. I don't remember doing anything so stupid as a kid besides that. Look at that fail. Just miss, and he's standing there doing nothing. But, you know what? I probably learned more from that experience at 9 years old than I ever did in anything else in my entire life. And just the things that it caused. But other than that, you know, I got nothing else to say about it. Enjoy that. Maybe share some stupid stories you had as a kid. You know, appreciate you guys watching. Sorry for the delay in videos. Once again, I've been a lazy ass. You guys take it easy. Share, comment, like, subscribe, favorite. Have a good one. I'll have some more videos out for you guys later this week. It's been Azazel 2012.